I mean, we get another frequency.
Another frequency, another information.
I've been
Different energy.
working with the CoRe for about since 2005. Started with the 4.5. I was in the past I was a general practitioner. Later I came with homeopathy and later on bioresonance. And then the CoRe. For me, it's quite a logical development.
What's your name? Sorry.
Frits van Buijsen. Working in Hoogland, Amersfoort. And in the 4.5, I made then an own tray of all the homeopathic remedies that were in the radar program. That was one of the repertorization programs. And for quite a while, I just did a scan on that tray and gave the remedy. And with remarkable results. It was quite easy work.
And what kind of remedies did you put in there? What kind of remedies did you have in this tray?
All the remedies that are in the synthesis, in the radar. That's a repertorization program. That were about 4,500.
You put them all in by manually?
No. No, I had a list, and I just had to
copy and paste.
Copy and paste.
Ah,
no,
good.
Was
very good.
No, not all. And in the 5.0, I started to work with the top 2 or 3 screens, and then the top 2 or 3 resonances. And I decided, that was 2 years ago, only to take what Kieran suggested, only to take the 2 top screens and the 2 top resonances. And I treated everybody with that, no exception. And even if someone came with a story that I thought that's beautiful, for a beautiful homeopathic remedy, I also only gave that. And many times I didn't see anything happening, but when you gave it a second time or a third time, it's really amazing. And then
Can I interfere? Because it's very nice that you say this, because I need this kind of feedback. You see, people, you're the ones who actually work with this, but I can see more and more that I've been inspired by some ideas, but then people have to make it practical, and I can see it's most of the times the ideas are too simple for our culture, for our mind. And I see one person, for example, is my best friend now in Portugal, Marco Paulo. He's replacing me this week in Brazil on a conference of this kind of energy medicine, which has 2,000 people coming to this place in Recife in Brazil. 2,000 people, and he has an incredible number of people to his clinic. He starts morning 9 o'clock, he works until 10, 11 at night, every day except Wednesday, and he takes off. And each time I come to Portugal, he presents not one, but a few last stage cancer people that have complete remission with CoRe. And the most amazing thing is when you watch him, how he's doing it. It's exactly like this, the most simple way you can imagine. No talk about it, first 2, then, but consistently, as you say, repeating it consistently and following up. And as simple as this, but our mind, our Western mind, makes things too complicated and is completely in our own way, in the way of healing, and probably the cause even for the disease in the first place. So I'm very happy that you say this, that it's simple as this. Yes, thank you.
What do you mean by repeating the same?
No, after 1 or 2 weeks I do a new analysis and give them again the 4 resonances.
Oh, not the same.
No. Yeah, when they pop up again.
Are they almost the same or almost never the same the second time?
That's
Yeah.
a number of times it's quite the same.
Yeah. It can be the same and it
Yes. And you can take for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and then all of a sudden it changes. It's, Because of my homeopathic background, I started to think about homeopathic remedies, and I have made all the remedies that are made of the flowers and the plants and animals, and insect is not yet ready, that are in Holland, is in our own biotope. And they very frequently show up, and it works fine. But that's a lot of work. And that's manually, I'm afraid. I'll tell you a few good examples. I had a lady who had a fracture of the ankle, and she's been operated, and it was not good, not grown together. And I saw her 3 weeks before she had a re-operation, and I treated her with magnetic applicators and with the resonances, and said to her, well, it was 3 weeks before, that's a little bit short, but who knows? She should be operated, but the surgeon made a picture and the bone was completely healed. For me that was very amazing. In 3 weeks' time. Before that she really had, and it was a young woman.
Do you do the auto communication and the informing too, or both of them?
Yes, I did both. I tend now to do with the new version, with the 6, just the auto communication. Then I don't have to give a remedy anymore. It's quite simple. I treat also a number of patients that I treat on distant. That are people who mail me, okay, I don't feel so good today. I have someone who had a nasty infection for many years ago, a viral infection. I was always ill, and it took me about a year to get her much better. And now and then she writes me an email, says, well, okay, today I'm not good, and then I'll do an analysis, do auto communication for 24 years, and she can tell, she has sent me an email a number of times now, she can tell exactly when I start. I don't tell it to her, but she says, okay, did you start it? Did you do it at 5 o'clock?
She treats the patients.
That's
Munich. So.
But you do the people only 24 hours in communication?
No, that's quite different
Oh,
in her situation. Another fine example is that many times you see that the top, that's from my homeopathic view, that the top resonance can be something that's also a homeopathic remedy. I had a girl who was 9 years old, and the top resonance was orca. That's one of the, in the biotope of fish, and the orca swims now and then in the North Sea. And I asked her, so what she liked in animals, and she said orca. I think that's very amazing that of all the things is coming up. And another lady that's also quite amazing is, she is 61 years old and suffering from a lot of viral infection in the last 15 years. And she always says, well, I'm so sensitive. When I have an infection, I can't leave home for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. And I treat her only distantly, and I treat her 15, so about, in auto communications, also 1 or 2 days. And she says, in 3 days it's over. And every time, I've done that in the past year, I think 3 or 4 times. And she said, well, I'm recovering, every time I'm recovering faster. So she's really getting better. And her I treat only when she's asking for it. I also treat I treat a lot of children, little children, also with eczema, which I treat mostly with light, with the plasma generator. And my experience is that you have to do it a few times, but then when it's healing, it stays good, and it's quite fine. And I work now with the 6 for about it was beginning of July. I have the impression that the 6 is working different than the 5. It's much deeper that you get your results.
Yes, I can tell more about this. I think it's between 4 and 5 was just like an external makeup, but 6 is completely redesigned. That's why it took 2 years to do all this.
But when I see this, then I think, why the CoRe?
How often do you put the people in auto-communication? 24 hours at one piece, or 3 times a day?
In the 6, I put the standard is, of the default is for a week, and then but in the 6 you see the auto-communication on the background, and you see that the people are then treated 2 minutes every hour or every 2 hours.
So not in the front.
And because you if I'm correct, in the 6 you can the time qua days.
Yeah, you can only limit it. You can only limit how long, how many days, but how often they are being treated depends only on how many people you have in your database. If you have 1,000, they get only 1,000th of the whole time. If you have only 10 people, then they're being treated 1/10 of the time, so it means like 2.4 hours every day. Yes, when you have it on, when you have it running 24 hours. But I show this now after show maybe about this, the new auto communication. Yes.
In 5 I did it almost 3 times a day, 10 minutes or so. But and also I have a lot of people now who I treat for the last 3-4 years with chronic diseases, and I've one lady with MS, and she's really stable. And that's better than she was before, and also by her I see that the intervals are getting further away. I haven't heard from her since 2 months. Yet I phoned her yesterday. It was okay. That's
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.